Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome here to the New Hampshire Motor Speedway as we're getting set for pole day qualifying for tomorrow afternoon's Busch Series race here at Loudon, New Hampshire. There are 44 go homers here this weekend. Looks like the first driver on track will be the 6 of Skylar Davidson as we're getting set for our 9th race on the season. So let's explain about this format. Since there's more than 42 entries, we divide them up into groups of 2, which is 22 cars apiece. The top 6 from Group A and the top 6 from Group B will be the 12 drivers moving on into the final round to take on to be the cars that would be on the pole, bound for the pole for tomorrow afternoon's race. Skylar Davidson did not qualify the Truck Series race for this afternoon, and it's also allotted 5 minutes on the clock. We're sending 16 from each group home, which, if you do the math, 32 drivers will fail to qualify. As Skylar Davidson's put at 29.899. Glad thing she got out on track before the track got really busy. And of course, on a 5-minute session like this, not a lot of time for these drivers to come to pit road and make some adjustments. As Skylar does a 29.688. Only 2 drivers on track and 2 minutes have gone by, so these drivers need to be on track right about now. I like the move for Skylar Davidson. Get out on track, get your laps done to see if you're going to be one of the 6 drivers. Yes, remember, 6 drivers from this group and 6 drivers in the second group will transfer into the race as she sets a 6.49. So not a lot of time for these drivers to fiddle fart around as far as the on track is concerned. As we're looking at Ari Springer, Carolina Bradley. This will be her only race she will be attempting to qualify this weekend. So it's really important for these drivers to get out on the track. There's Futaba Sakura. We'll see her this afternoon in the Craftsman Truck Series. Currently in the Home Depot machine, that's Lucy Granger. We have Michael Brown back in the 20 this week. Lila Bakai. Jesse Art just turned the 4th fastest lap. Margo Diaz 3rd. April Winters is the fastest in this session, along with Harrison Jenkins. Remember, we're looking for 6 drivers in this session. 6 is the magic number. Ready Columbus, Suni Sue, Billy Kitchens, Harrison Jenkins right there in the 14th, now 3rd quickest. On the bubble is Skylar Davidson. Remember, she was the first out on the track. Nathan Stapleton is 4th quickest. Nathan Stapleton looking to make his first Busch start of the season. We've seen him make a start in the Cup Series. Skylar Davidson just got bumped. Jesse Art goes to the top of the timesheets. Marco Diaz is out. Phelan Bradley got one more chance to make it into the Cup race tomorrow, as both of the Fitz Bradshaw cars having good qualifying efforts. Jacob Foster didn't qualify for the Busch race. We'll see if he'll qualify for the Cup race tomorrow. Remy Crampton, Shakes McDaniels, Erica Douglas, 2nd quickest. Now the 27 goes 3rd quickest. That puts Marco Diaz now on the bubble with 30 seconds. Well, as soon as I say that, the 36 goes quickest. We're only looking for 6. We're not looking for 12 like what we've been doing back in the day. And with only 5 minutes on the clock, not a lot of time, as I said, to make adjustments. If you're the 6 drivers, well, Jesse just got bumped by Carolina Bradley. And that's it. That's the session right there. Jenkins will be in the show. Carolina Bradley, Jesse Art was second quickest, got bumped as the session went along. Jesse trying to get into the show. She's really been having a struggling season. But that number 12 Dodge out of Fitz Bradshaw Racing, as the 42 goes to the top of the timesheets, Jesse Art is out. Jesse Art will not race tomorrow afternoon. Thriller Tadwell, 29,199, shot clock cheese for the Texaco Haviland Dodge. And for the second week in a row, he will race tomorrow. And just like that, this session's done, just like that. And we're going to have another situation like this next week with at Dover. But Darlington will be back to a regular big field as far as that's concerned. So the drivers who transfer into this race, remember, we're only doing 6 in Group A. Those drivers are Thriller Tadwell, Harrison Jenkins. So Harrison redeems himself. It's been a while since Harrison Jenkins has made a start here in the Busch Series. Hasn't been the best of seasons for that 14 bunch. April Winters makes the show this week, along with Lucy Granger, Erica Douglas. We will see her this afternoon in the Craftsman Truck Series race, so that's big for her. And Carolina Bradley will get the final transfer spot by 9/1000ths of a second. So the DNQs officially that will not make the show, the 16, the official 16 DNQs are Jesse Art, Futaba Sakura. We'll see her this afternoon for the truck race. Remy Crampton, Marco Diaz, Billy Kitchens, Shakes McDaniel, Suni Sue, Nathan Stapleton, Brady Columbus, Ari Springer, Skylar Davidson. So Skylar Davidson's weekend is done, so she will be heading home right now. Leila Bakai, Michael Brown, we'll see him this afternoon in the truck race. Phelan Bradley, Violet Jackson, and Jacob Foster. Those 16 drivers will be joining the other 16 in not making tomorrow afternoon's race. So we're going to take a commercial break. We're going to get the other 22 drivers out on track for the second half of Go or Go Home qualifying. Don't go anywhere. Your race weekend here in New Hampshire is coming up next on the World Racing Association's Multimedia Network. Welcome back to round 2 of Go or Go Home qualifying. Another 5 minutes on the clock as we're going to get these drivers ready to go. Yeah, as I said, not a lot of time for 5 minutes. Maybe like a 15-minute session, then I can understand making adjustments. But for those 6 drivers that transferred in, the 42, 14, 36, 22, 27, and 25, they're already debriefing with their crew chief on what they need to do to their race cars to make their cars a lot faster for tomorrow afternoon's race. As first driver out on track is the gal we'll see this afternoon in the Craftsman Truck Series race. That's Shyla Askarov. Last week's pole sitter at Texas. She made all 3 races, as a matter of fact, at Texas. Didn't have a good truck race. Had a quiet Busch and Cup races. And we'll be seeing her tomorrow afternoon trying to qualify her Cup car into the show. And she's now the first driver on track. So that's a 41.468, but that's because her pit stall is behind the start-finish line, so she's beginning her first official time lap. So we now know the 6 drivers from Group A that are going to join the 30 drivers locked in the show. The remaining 6 drivers are going to find out here in this session. Remember, we got Liliana Beta trying to qualify her way in. Remember, we will see Liliana Beta tomorrow afternoon on the Cup side trying to make the show. Of course, Beta trying to make the show this time without any incident. Just a reminder, Liliana Beta not running for the championship, so she's just trying to just run some Busch races to help her out on the Cup side. I bet it's nerve-wracking for these drivers trying to get on track, trying to get some laps done. CJ Brack, or no, that's Maisie Creighton in the 90 this week. Well, she got beaten by Liliana Beta. And back to the top of the timesheets for Creighton. We'll see her this afternoon in the Busch, or in the truck race, excuse me. Same with the gal in front of her, Addison Peterson, we will also see this afternoon in the Truck Series race. As we're down to 2 minutes to go in the session, Shyla Asgrove, 29,505. Remember, 6 is the lucky number. So it doesn't matter if you're 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th or not. You will not race this afternoon. End of discussion. The 76 goes to the top of the timesheets. That's Carson Miller. There he is in the 76 machine. Amy Hicks is in right now. The 71 of Ellie Rose on the bubble. Well, as soon as I say that, Jonathan Hoff goes second fastest. Liliana Beta went quicker, 29,410, 29,376 for Carson Miller. With a minute left to go in Group B of Goregon qualifying. This is going to be an interesting setup when we do Goregon qualifying for the series next week at Dover. '79 now on the bubble. And remember, the 64, that's the only Cup interloper that's in this series, is Beta. Lucky Prescott goes second quickest. That bumps Taylor Valley out of the Fast Six. That puts Madison Toll on, well, I was going to say Madison Toll on the bubble. Valley goes second quickest. Puts the 78 on the bubble, but Madison Toll responds with a 413. Madison has not made a race this season. Nathan Stapleton has tried to make some races here in the Busch Series, failed to do so. Jonathan Huff has made some races. Madison Toll is the only one of the trio who's not made a start in this series in the World Racing Association. And zeros are on the clock. She goes third quickest. I believe that's it. Yep, that's it. Look at that, a tie for the 66 and the 80. But it really doesn't matter about a tie because here's the thing. Both of them will race this afternoon. So Carson Miller, Taylor Valley, Amy Hicks, Madison Toll will make her debut at last. Abigail Lynn and Lucky Prescott will get the final transfer spot. Those 6 drivers will join the other 6 drivers that made the show here this weekend. Unfortunately, the drivers who will not make this race are Josh Harmon, Liliana Beta. We'll see her tomorrow afternoon in the Cup race, Cup qualifying. Zach Foster, we'll see him this afternoon in the truck race. Alex Romero, Shyla Asgrove, we'll see her this afternoon in the Truck Series race. Jonathan Hoff, Ellie Rose, Sydney Ball, Maisie Creighton, we'll see her this afternoon in the truck race. Autumn McDowell, Sarah Costello, William Brock, Addison Peterson, we'll see her this afternoon in the truck race. Shade Earnhardt, Clayton Huntington Wolf, and Hazel Eveling, those 16 drivers, will not race tomorrow afternoon. They will join the other D&Qs who will all be heading home as a result. So we're going to take a commercial break, our final commercial break. When we come back, we're going to have these 12 Gorgo homers join the other 30 drivers to see who will qualify on the pole for tomorrow afternoon's race. This is the World Racing Association's Multimedia Network. Welcome back to Pole Day qualifying. Now we have our 42-car field ready to go qualifying here at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. This is the third and final round of qualifying. Yes, I kind of can't believe I'm saying that. I'm used to seeing 2 rounds of qualifying, not 3. But it's only for the short tracks, road courses, yada, yada, yada. As the first driver out on the track is the number 8 of Mohammed Zain. We'll see him this afternoon in the truck race. As the 8 just came to pit road for some reason. What's up with that? And it's followed the 32 because apparently the 8 had a mechanical problem or something. Not sure what's up with that. We're going to have to get an update on what is wrong with the 8 machine, but he apparently did not take time. But Morgan Le Fay is now on the clock. We'll get an update from the 8 bunch to find out what exactly happened. Because he came out on the track and then just came back in, so there might be something wrong with that 8 machine. As here comes Morgan Le Fay to cross the line for the first time lap, 29.912. Morgan Le Fay jumped 9 spots up to 9th in the standings. There's Ebonia Mirmoez. Ebony didn't qualify. Oh, no, she's wrecked. And she's going to have to go to a backup car. I was going to get ready to say Ebonia Mirmoez did not qualify for this race. There's the 8 car. So Boney will have to go to a backup machine. But will not start at the rear of the field, however. As Mohammed Zain. There's Callie Springer. Mohammed 16th in the points. Well, I'll say this for Mohammed Zain. If you're going to have a problem, glad it happened in qualifying rather than in the race. Callie Springer is currently situated 23rd in the points table coming in this race. Ashlyn Wright, will see her this afternoon as she'll be on the front row leading us to green this afternoon. She is still the points leader, but it's only by 1 measly point. She overdrove that corner really bigly. Brenda Eveling is still 30th in the standings, in that critical 30th in the standings. Of course, the 88 made the show this week. Currently a total of 18 points above 31st. So she needs a good run here this weekend to compound what has been a struggling season for the Cellular One Chevrolet out of Nemco Motorsports. As the 15 is yet to come out on the track. Courtney Lynn, last week's winner from Loudon, New Hampshire, her first career win in the Busch Series, her second in what is now the World Racing Association. Remember, she went to victory lane last season in the Cup Series. And we'll see her tomorrow qualifying the car in the Winston Cup Series. She is the driver this week of the 25. She comes into this race 14th in the points, gained 10 spots after last week's race. Of course, fuel mileage did not play a factor in that race. Everybody went the entire race distance without having to make a stop, which is a bit weird. As we're looking at rookie Alex Winters in the 34. It was 12th in the standings, jumped up 8 spots after last week's race at Texas. As Ebonia Mirwez is finally out on the track in her backup car. Halfway through qualifying, and she's, I believe, the only driver who's yet to set a lap time. And 2:21.643. But she will improve on that second lap. This is, not turning a lap in qualifying, and you just set a 2-minute lap time. think she's still trying to get. Of course, she's not going to get a whole lot of laps in that backup car. And we'll see where she's going to improve a 32.12. Yeah, she's definitely off the pace. But remember, this is a track where you can have pitch strategy come into play. As we're looking at Jamie Bonine, there's Summit Oskin. Oskin failed to qualify for the truck race this afternoon, so he will be watching his three drivers out on the track, and that's really a big disappointment for Oskin. He made every race in the truck series until yesterday, as he was one of the drivers unfortunately had to go home. First time he's failed to qualify for the truck race this season. April Winters, the fastest in this session. And we'll jump back, look at a replay of that incident with Ebonia Mirmoez. Because I don't think that was deliberate. I think that was because Ebony thought she gave enough room. Unfortunately, didn't do that. As we're looking at Ricky Cervantes, Dylan Ibrahimian, Lauren Grubius, we'll see her tomorrow afternoon trying to qualify the number 41 machine into the Cup race. Ever since replacing Ben Erickson, it's been a bumpy struggle for Grubius trying to make races. And of course, she made three races in place of three races in place of the suspended Ben Erickson, but ever since then she's failed to qualify. So was Ben Erickson really the problem, or was it a team issue? I mean, we'll have to see about that. Rosalinda Masterson had an engine failure that let go on that machine, was one of the two drivers that failed to finish. As a result, dropped 8 spots down to 22nd position in the points. Looking for a bounce back result. Second, as there's Harrison Jenkins, as the 60 car just committed a commitment cone violation, if that was the case in the race. There's Luna Farmer, second quickest for her. We'll see her tomorrow afternoon trying to qualify the Cup car in the show. Currently 8th in the points table. Luna's still looking for her first win on the season and of her career. There's April Winters. So we have two Winter sisters in the field. April in the 36, 34, Alex Winters. There will be signups coming up for the All-American Series at the conclusion of Trucks, Busch, and Cup. That will be with Red Bull GT Series. They'll run some races here, there, and everywhere, and all that, yada, yada, yada. Which we'll have more details on when I will start Season 5 of the Red Bull GT Series at a later date. But I'll have a little bit more space, if you ask me. As we're looking at April Winters in the 36, the Tucson Chevrolet. April is making her third start of the year. She's yet to win a pole, and it's looking very likely that nobody's going to touch a 244. Look at that, 244 to a 245. That's 1/1000th. And remember, Luna Farmer comes into this race 8th in the points. And one thing we haven't talked about that I think we might need to start talking about is the drivers that finish top 5 in trucks will go up the Busch, exception if they have a ride in Busch, then that spot will be null and void, or it will go to the next highest in points. And it looks like April Winters, a go or go homer coming into today, will be your pole sitter for tomorrow afternoon's race. But before we get into, we'll show you your starting lineup in just a minute. But first, we're going to jump back, look at a replay to figure out what happened to the 15. And then we'll take you back to live action as far as that's concerned. I'm waiting for the deal to go to 0. Then we'll take a look at a replay, and then we will wrap it up from here. As we're waiting for the zeros to be official, and they are official. So before we take you to your starting lineup, let's jump back and look at a replay to find out what happened to the 15 machine. This was coming out of the pit lane for Abonia Mirmoez. Just watch the 32. I'll let you guys decipher this in the comments. But it appears to me like the 15 was on the racing line, could have given the 32 a little bit more room or could have stayed lower. Of course, Morgan Le Fay had to go to a backup car as far as that was concerned because of all the damage on the Winfield Chevrolet. Yeah, look at all the damage on that car. So I'm not entirely sure if... Let's take a look from the onboard camera, and we're going to do it in slow motion. Yeah, you see the 32 is getting ready to make an arc. I think the 15 should have stayed below the yellow line. And we're probably going to see that a lot if we have green flag pit stops and you see hard hit. Thank goodness for the safer barriers. Remember, this is the chase for the Sprint Cup Loudon that I have. And, of course, we installed these safer barriers, so that's good news there. So, but a shame for those drivers involved and had to go to a backup car, but they will keep their starting spots, as that is what happened for our only incident in qualifying. Let's take you to your starting lineup here at Loudon. Welcome back to Loudon, New Hampshire. We're going to go ahead and start wrapping things up as you are seeing your official starting lineup for tomorrow afternoon's race. April Winters, it will be her first career pole of her career and of the season. April Winters has run a Busch car back in the day. That was in the Diva Busch series, so that's why she does not have an R next to her name. As a matter of fact, for some of these ladies that ran in the Diva Busch series, with the exception of Alex Winters, the reason they don't have an R next to their name is because they took part in a Diva Busch series deal, so that will apply into the NASCAR Busch series powered by the WRA rulebook. It is that if you've taken part in a Diva Trucks, Busch, or Cup, you are ineligible for the Rookie of the Year honors, which, by the way, that would explain why Hannah Blue Jay doesn't have an R next to her name, because she has previous Cup experience. So we'll just an FYI. Nevertheless, April Winters will start on the pole. Luna Farmer will be alongside of her. So Luna Farmer, one of her better qualifyings of the season. Courtney Lynn, 1 week removed from her first win on the season. She will line up in row number 2 again alongside of Thriller Tadwell. Of course, I just now noticed he has the 29, 2, and that number on the end. So here we go. Dang. Sorry, I had to do a frying pan because, every time I see that cursive number, I have to do a frying pan, all jokes aside. Tyler Ware, Gabe Litton in row number 3, Callie Springer, Tula Topola, row 4, Alex Winters, Quentin Moore completing your top 10. Quentin Moore, we'll see him tomorrow trying to qualify his way into the Cup race on Sunday. Ashlyn Wright, the points leader, going to start in 15th tomorrow. Of course, she is tied with Amy Hicks, but of course, or no, she's tied with, she's tied with Taylor Valley. But of course, I will probably say that Ashlyn Wright might move up a spot. Taylor Valley will probably start 15th because the tiebreaker goes to driver points. Well, with Ashlyn Wright leading the points, no easy surprise. She would win the tiebreaker, probably go ahead. Ricky Cervantes, Morgan Le Fay. Notice those two had a tie next to their deal. Le Fay is 9th in the points, so she would win the tiebreaker over Cervantes in that regard, but still good runs inside the top 15. So there could be a couple of swaps, but I may just leave the grid as it is. I want to do a swap, but I'm going to leave the grid as it is. Brenda Ealing, Kyle Langland will have a tie there, but I'm just going to leave the grid as it is. Look on down through the rest of the qualifying results. Good thing for these drivers that are going to run in the truck race. We talked about, in the truck series pull day qualifying yesterday, is this track you can use pit strategy that could help you out. Of course, yeah, maybe struggling for passing, but hey, pit strategy, you can get it done in the pits, and we could possibly see some wrecks if we are lucky enough. A couple of our truck series double duty people, Dylan Ibrahimian, Erica Douglas in row 12. Gitteroth will be in the truck race. He'll start 28 tomorrow. Carolina Bradley, not a good qualifying from her, even though this will be her only race of the weekend. Lauren Gruby is going to be starting deep in the field. Bora Park, we'll see her this afternoon in the truck race. She's going to have her work cut out for her on the final row. Lucky Prescott, Madison Toll. So not the qualifying for Madison Toll, but she's never, ever have qualified into the into like going for the pole, but 42nd, not what she needed. But as I said, you can try to make some passes. Pitch strategy is going to be a factor tomorrow afternoon, and we're going to see that happen tomorrow afternoon in this race. Hope you guys enjoyed this qualifying session. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the World Racing Association crew today. We showed your starting lineup for tomorrow afternoon's Busch Series race. They'll go green at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Before that, though, we'll have the Winston Cup drivers pole day qualifying at 1 tomorrow afternoon. But before that happens, we have some of these drivers that are going to be in the Craftsman Truck Series race, like Wright, Zane, Ibrahimian, Douglas. I didn't realize Douglas is doing double duty, so that's good for her. So for those double duty drivers, what will they learn today? That will apply for tomorrow's Busch race. We'll have to see. But until you join us for whenever race we have, whether it's today or tomorrow, I'm Adita Volas. Thank you for joining me and saying goodbye for now here at Loudon, New Hampshire. We congratulate April Winters on the pole. We'll see you this afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You've been watching the World Racing Association's Multimedia Network.